Hi, this is Marina from Darkstar Astrology, bringing you the full moon in February on the 19th, and it's going to fall at 0 degrees of Virgo. Now, this is a really important one because it will trigger the fixed star Regulus that's just moved into Virgo, and it moved, relatively speaking, but it moved in there in November 2011, and so I've also written a post about the fixed star Regulus and what it means for the collective, this sort of paradigm shift of it moving from Leo to Virgo. Now, I mean, does changing signs really make any difference? Well, it's a kind of psychological meme, isn't it, really? And it has been jumped on by goddess worshipping New Agers who are sort of saying that it's a, move away from patriarchy, evil patriarchy, and it'll all be skipping through fields with no wars or anything once Regulus has moved into Virgo. But anyway, I've written a whole post about that, so you can have a look for yourself what I have to say about that. Anyway, so as I'm doing now these days is my quick fire moon. So at this full moon, we get to experience the concentrated energy of Regulus in Virgo. Now, the solar eclipse in August 2017 gave us a taste of the long-term influence of Virgo on Regulus. And that solar eclipse fell on Trump's ascendant and was visible in the US. So it was an important one for North America. But since then, I've been studying narcissistic abuse and its connection with the Persephone archetype, which is also associated with Virgo the Maiden. So the imagery for the first face of Virgo actually depicts the pomegranate, which fits with Virgo as Persephone perfectly. And the trine from Uranus, which happens at this full moon, will help any Persephones that have been groomed into self-sacrifice to rebel against their captors. The psychological bullying from the elites, though, through their puppet meisters, the press, is also being revealed in instances recently where they went just too far, in my view. Now, I've yet to make a YouTube video about these two examples, but these are the ones that really threw me in their audacity. Now, the first one was the death threats to the teenage Catholic boy who decided he wanted to set a boundary to a guy who was banging a drum in his face. So just think of a moment, what would happen if the roles were reversed? The smug smile of resistance would have been called brave, and he would have been compared to Gandhi if it was the Native American who was, doing the smile to, or grimace or whatever you want to call it, the smug smile to the Catholic boy. Now, another blatant piece of propaganda was now the infamous Gillette advert, which basically guilt trips men about their toxic masculinity. Apparently, it's not cool for a guy to approach a woman he finds attractive anymore. So I'm not sure how the sexes are supposed to get together in the 21st century unless women now have to always make the first move. But who wants to feel like they have to do the chasing? So, to me, that's not cool. Anyway, well, we're certainly getting the negative side of Regulus in Virgo, which it seems is attempting to castrate straight European men and by extension kill birth rates in the West, which are bad enough as it is. I also, as a, lapsed Catholic myself, I have to make a comment on the amount of abuse that's being hurled at Christians these days. It seems Christianity got the short straw when it comes to the religious tolerance that is shown to all other religions by the mass media. Plenty of Jesus cartoons out there, and Regulus in Virgo might put an end to the guilt and shame that has been groomed into Christians since the day they were born. And well, of course, we were born guilty, weren't we, with our original sin. So, what other religion has to put up with that crap, basically? Now, another tenet of Catholicism is being pro-life, which is another reason that it's constantly being attacked. Religious families tend to be bigger, more united, and generally more self-sufficient, i.e., they're going to be less reliant on big government and their programs. Actually, yes, since I wrote this, there was a whole abortion debate that I didn't actually know about. And I can't believe this is happening. It's not that I was ever really very pro-life, even being a Catholic. I don't want to get into the whole discussion, but I don't understand why there would ever be a need for such a late abortion. And what you could have an abortion a few weeks before it's due? I just don't understand that at all. It's very Lilith, actually. It's very baby killing. So I wanted to actually do a special. I keep saying I want to do this, I want to do that, but if I get time, I wanted to do. Maybe I might do this. I might do that after this one, actually. I might have a quick look to see what the transits were for that bill being passed. Has it been passed? I don't really know. I have to look into it more, but I think that's in New York that's happening. Anyway, back to this full moon. Now, so as with the previous new moon, the spiritual Saturn sextile Neptune aspect is triggered again, and very beautifully this time. Mercury with Neptune on Achenar and Ankar. And Achenar brings success in ecclesiastical matters, and Ankar is the phoenix from the flames. So in other words, there is the resurrection of Persephone from her enslavement in the underworld. On the other side, Venus is conjunct Saturn on Vega, which gives resilience and a shield against attack, setting boundaries with love. So maybe we will see a reform within Christianity. Now, apparently, Christian-inspired paganism and spiritual practices that evoke the ancestors and connect to the land are the fastest growing religions in the West. There's a little, I'll put a link to why is paganism booming in Europe and beyond below this, because I thought that was a very interesting YouTube video. And there's also a growing interest in the Gnostic branch of Christianity, also since the discovery of the Nag Hammadi scriptures as well, and the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, along with the popularity and film version of the book The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. So that's my little summary. Now, the crystal healing. So I chose the orange carnelian since it's associated with Virgo, Isis as well, and fertility. Cassandra Eason says of its divinatory meaning, you may get to breathe new life into a relationship, as Isis did. Empowerment, it is as courageous as a lioness, and that fits with the brave star. Regulus and physical benefits can aid female infertility, IVF and artificial insemination, PMS, menstrual and menopausal symptoms, also recovery after illness, surgery, accident or trauma. Oh, another quote here from Simmons. In antiquity as well as today, carnelian is believed to help timid speakers become both eloquent and bold. Ancient warriors actually wore carnelian around the neck for courage and physical power to conquer their enemies. And it's also a very stabilizing crystal as well. It also protects against envy, rage and resentment, yours or from others, and encourages a love of life. It is useful for overcoming abuse of any kind, so that fits, I think, very well with this full moon, and helping you trust yourself and your perceptions. Again, helping you overcome gaslighting. So, yeah, I think that fits quite well. Thanks for listening. Come to the website for the long, more detailed post, and see you next time. Bye-bye.